Hi, I'm Steve Cole. As module number 2, the timeline critique. Ultimately, I picked timeline number 3, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But initially, when I looked at all these things, I looked at them on a mobile device on my iPhone. Timeline 3 kind of looks like it does on the computer. The other two don't look the same. So after going through all these, I thought, well, maybe timeline number 2 was the best because it was more condensed and I could see it all on my phone. And but ultimately, I picked timeline number 3. For example, this is timeline number 1. I couldn't see any of the actual timeline they have here, and I saw down here it's got the list button. That wasn't on my phone. So you hit the list button, and this is kind of what I saw on my phone, although it wasn't doubled up, it was single, which was a lot of stuff. This one had some good information. And I don't know why timeline number 2 is my least favorite now, but initially on the phone it was my favorite. As far as an interesting fact, actually came out of timeline number 2, the post-World War II thing when they were talking to the German Chief General Staff, basically said our miscalculation was the understanding of their quick and complete mastery of film education. They put out 4 million showings of 600 shows, so I thought that was kind of interesting since I was in the military, and found that kind of fascinating. Timeline number 3, certainly aesthetically pleasing, with all the colors and all the things going on. You got the timeline down here on the bottom. You've got the years that scroll up there on the top. Initially, since this was my 4th thing of history timeline reading it, I got done and I said, well, what did I learn about this timeline? And the only thing that came to my head was a Slinky is older than Mr. Potato Head. I thought, well, that's not the best thing, but went back through it and looked at it, and it does have a lot more information than some of the other ones. Another thing about this timeline is initially I didn't like that you had to click these boxes to see more things. Then I watched that video, that YouTube video about taking into consideration what the learner already knows. And with a timeline like this, if I already know about B.F. Skinner, I don't have to click on that box. So it kind of caters to the learner's needs. If I don't know about B.F. Skinner, I can click on the box and get some more information. Some things I would change are, I would take out some of those extraneous things like it was fun reading about this Slinky. Probably not necessary. But I do like the things about, the Apple Macintosh arrives in, whatever year this is, 1984. So that was interesting too. It kind of broke things up and let me put things into perspective of what has happened in my life. The other thing I like about this timeline is it has things that are later, which I think is more interesting to me. I mean, all the historical stuff is the same pretty much on all the timelines except this one. This one's got a little more, and this was probably a Georgia State. Someone did this for Georgia State, so that was kind of not as great as it would be. I would change that. So I like the 3rd timeline. And this is strange doing this in front of a video because I can't see my face with the program I'm using. So hopefully I'm in the camera somewhere. We'll see. All right.